Hello, my name is Psyche, and today we're going to talk about Final Fantasy XIV, whether you're a new player or returning to Eorzea. First of all, thank you to Square Enix for sponsoring this video. If you're watching this video, you're probably wondering whether now is a good time to start FF14 for the first time, or if it's a good time to come back to the game, and I'm here to give you some tips as a long-time player of the game and a casual player at the moment who's working on catching up. So let's get started. There are two things I'd like to cover before we get into the tips for returning players. First off, if you're a brand new player and you're wondering whether you'll like the game, there's an incredible free trial for FF14 that allows you to play all the way through the base game and the first expansion Heavensward for free. That means you can level any of the base classes or jobs up to level 60 with absolutely no time restriction on how long you can play. There are some restrictions to free trial accounts, but honestly this is one of the best free trials I've ever seen for an MMO. You can find out more info using the link in the video description below. Secondly, if you're a returning player, at the time of recording this video, there's an ongoing free login campaign, meaning you can return to the game for free. You have until March 31st to claim your free game time, so if you're thinking of coming back, now is a great time. They also have regular free login campaigns, so keep an eye out if you're watching this video from the future. I'm sorry, that was terrible. Anyway, let's get to the tips for returning players. If you're anything like me, coming back to a game after a long break can be pretty overwhelming. I'm here to help you get back into FF14 smoothly and catch up to current content. Tip number 1. Updating your gear. Depending on when you last played FF14, there are various new types of equipment available and new tomestones to earn through dungeons and other content. At level 50, there's upgraded Ironworks gear available from Mordona from the NPC Oriana, which should last you for quite some time. Similarly, for level 60 and above, you can get Shire equipment from Hismina in Idleshire. Once you hit level 70, there's also Skaven equipment available in Rhalgr's Reach at Enna. Ironworks, Shire and Skaven equipment all require Allagan Tomestones of Poetics, which you can get through trials or duties up to level 70, as well as a few different duty roulettes. Once you hit level 80, the current level cap, there's a lot of different types of equipment to choose from. You will be obtaining Allagan Tomestones of Allegory and Revelation from duties and roulettes, and these can be exchanged for different item levels of equipment. While you're saving up for your Crypt Lurker gear, which is purchased with Revelation Tomes, you can spend Allegory on the cheaper Crystarium gear as needed. You can also get drops from dungeons, Eden's Gate, Eden's Verse and Eden's Promise, the copied Factory and Puppets Bunker 24-man raids, and lots of other content that you'll be completing as you progress. Tip number 2. Your QUICKBARS may have changed. This one is pretty simple. Again, depending on when you last played, you may find your QUICKBARS have a few greyed out boxes with red crosses through them. Jobs are always being optimised, and to make different classes more accessible, some abilities were removed or became role actions instead. If your ability has been removed, you can remove it from your bar, but now is a great time to go through your skills and familiarise yourself with any changes. Tip number 3. Locating quests that unlock content. Most content in the game, be it dungeons or trials, abilities or various other activities you can get up to, are unlocked through quests. A long time ago it wasn't so easy to tell where to unlock everything, but thankfully it is super easy now. If you're just returning to the game after a long break, any new content that you can unlock will be marked with quest markers filled in dark blue with a little plus icon. These markers signify that the quest unlocks something, which could be the next dungeon or trial, a new job, or other features in the game. If you see these markers, it's definitely worth doing the quest behind them. Tip number 4. Continuing your main story quests. Speaking of quests, if you've been gone for a while, you probably have plenty of main scenario quests to catch up on. One of FF14's biggest draws is its in-depth story, where you are the protagonist. A handy feature that was added a while back was a main scenario quest UI element that shows the name of your next MSQ, which you can click on to show its location on your map. This is also handy for finding your next class or job quest, as it shows up immediately underneath this UI element when the next class or job quest is available. Tip number 5. There are lots of ways to level up. The beauty of FF14 right now is that there are so many different ways to level up and catch up with your friends. The main scenario quests give a healthy dose of XP as you progress, which is always great as you get to experience the story whilst also leveling up. Duty roulettes are, of course, a fantastic way to level up. Alliance and leveling roulettes give the highest XP for time spent and are worth doing every day for the bonus. However, if you'd like to do something a little different, Palace of the Dead is a fantastic way of leveling up to level 60. If you haven't unlocked it yet, you can do so at Quarry Mill in South Shroud after completing a level 17 side quest. While your level in Palace of the Dead is separate to your level outside, at the end of each set of 10 floors you get a boost of XP for your job. Lots of players will queue up for floors 51 to 60, which can be completed relatively quickly for leveling up. Once you hit level 61, you can unlock Heaven on High by completing a quest in the Ruby Sea, assuming you reached floor 50 or above in Palace of the Dead. Likewise, players often queue for floors 21 to 30 to level up. It's also worth noting that Palace of the Dead and Heaven on High can be a fun challenge outside of just repeating floors for XP, and there's some unique loot in here, including some pretty cool mounts. If you're waiting on a queue, there are so many other things you can do, either just to have fun or to keep your leveling progression going. Some examples include your hunting log or daily hunts from hunt boards, fates, or even working on a crafter or gatherer. Tip number 6, leveling a crafter. Speaking of working on crafters, this has been streamlined and there have been so many new ways to level and activities to complete now. Players can contribute to the Ishgardian restoration by helping to reconstruct the firmament. There's some lore explanation behind this, which I will allow you to discover for yourself, but basically you can level any of your crafters from level 20 onwards by taking part in fun timed activities to rebuild part of the city. To unlock Ishgardian restoration, you need to reach level 60 and complete the quest towards the firmament. Taking part rewards a large amount of XP. It's a great idea to focus on one crafter at a time and to keep your gatherers leveled up alongside. Leveling gatherers can be done as it always was before, or you can go on an adventure to the Diadem, which has completely changed from when it was first introduced. Now it's used as a gathering utopia, allowing gatherers to go and harvest materials, leveling up and making some money in the process. Tip number 7, getting your relic weapons. There are many different tiers of relic weapon, but the most recent ones added are resistance weapons. These can be earned by completing a quest chain that starts in Kugane after completing the main scenario quest Shadowbringers. You will also have to complete a side quest called the City of Lost Angels, which unlocks the Orbone Monastery raid from level 70. Once you've received your first level relic, you will be able to progress through the side quest chain to upgrade it further by speaking to Zlatan and Gangos. You can also acquire relics for other jobs once you've received your first one by trading 4 Thavnarian scale powders to Zlatan. Now that we've covered some tips for returning players, there are a few other things I wanted to mention whether you're coming back or just starting your journey in FF14. As I've mentioned in the tips I've shared, there are so many activities, whether it's for leveling or just for exploration. I have recently started raiding on a casual basis, which is huge for me, as I always thought raiding had to be a huge time commitment. While my raid group isn't going to be world first anytime soon, we're enjoying progressing at our own pace and experiencing some really fun and challenging fights once a week. If you're interested in dipping your toe into MMO raiding, FF14 manages to make it an accessible activity, even for people like me who can't raid every single day, which is something I really appreciate. My group and I raid once per week for 2 or 3 hours, and we always have a laugh. Our group is spread across the world with members from the UK, Ireland, North America, and Australia, and we get to play together on the same server or data center, which is pretty amazing. But as we all know, the real endgame? Definitely fashion. FF14's glamour system allows you to change your gear's appearance, allowing you to create the outfit of your dreams. Or someone's nightmares. There's a lot of freedom in the outfit creation, and I particularly appreciate that a lot of the gear isn't gender locked, allowing players to wear almost anything they want. One of the biggest features that an MMO needs for me to enjoy it is for it to have beautiful environments that I actually enjoy exploring. FF14 has always had this, and they've recently added the Explorer feature, which allows players to revisit some dungeons they've completed in the past. This time though, they can freely explore the dungeon to enjoy how pretty they are, take screenshots, or have their own private place to just hang out with friends. The normal dungeon timer still applies, but now you won't have to fight enemies, you can just freely explore and take in the sights. You can also use fashion accessories, change jobs, and use your mounts or minions here, allowing for some fun photo opportunities. And finally, I'd like to mention that FF14 has a ton of in-game seasonal events, all of which are tuned to be lore-friendly and feel like they have a place in the world. My favourite is always Halloween, just like in real life, and the events often come with themed mounts, minions, or outfits, which is great if you're a collector or if you just like to dress up for the occasion. I can honestly say that FF14 is my favourite MMO I've ever played. I've played it since A Realm Reborn released, and it's the only MMO I've stayed with for literally years. I've made lasting friendships with people I've met through the game, including people whom I have actually gone and hung out with in person, and it's the first MMO where I felt comfortable not only joining a raid group, but eventually starting my very own. It has a very special place in my heart because of that, and I cannot recommend it enough. Once again, I'd like to remind you that there is an amazing free trial for Final Fantasy XIV if you'd like to try it up to level 60 with completely unlimited game time, for free. Please do click the link in the video description if you'd like to check it out, and if you want to come say hi to me, my character's name is Psyche Estrella, and I'm on the Primal Data Center on the Behemoth server. Thank you again to Square Enix for sponsoring this video. I really hope the video was helpful. If you'd like to see any other FF14 content, or if you have any questions about playing the game in 2021, whether you're a new or returning player, please let me know in the comments below. Hope to see you again soon. Bye bye!